Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
What in the world?
Generally willing to tell his son.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. What up, people? Sorry about that. For some reason, I could hear some video playing in the background. Basically about the hearing the they're trying to subpoena some of the officials involved in the rushing of the Capitol on June 6th, excuse me. How's everybody doing tonight, though? I am not a vet. Yee, what up? RJ Gennard, what's happening? Mojo Jojo, Devin Thomas. How is everybody doing? Wow, I was surprised. They only had 6 waiting. And it's already up to 53. What up, Jay Bill? What up, Dre? How you doing, brother? Ricky Orlena. D. Manifest Good. Paulo Avila. What up, what up? Dream Team 0559. What's happening? Hey, hater. Acid Alex Visuals. What's up? I got some real footage of a UFO in Sacramento, California. Send away, bro. Send away. So, how y'all doing tonight? Pretty good? Did you guys get a chance to check out my video on Antarctica's underground super soldier labs? Thank you, Craig Harrison. I appreciate that, bro. Love seeing new subs. I'm sorry to hear that about your dog. I know how that goes. It sucks. What up, Drake? Yoga. Do I believe the earth is flat? No, but it's possible. What up from New York City? Shout out to my wife, Elena Rodriguez. What up, Monstro? How you doing, my guy? Good to see you here, brother. Good to see you. Joseph Casares. Tony Van Diesel. What is up, bro? Thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that, brother. Means a lot. It really does. So yeah, if you guys didn't get a chance, or especially you on TikTok, hop over to my YouTube. My link is in the bio. And check out my video on Antarctica's underground super soldier labs. Yeah, exactly, ripple effect. She said the UN logo shows a flat earth, just saying. And one of the main reasons, I'll just kind of touch on flat earth for a second, because people are always asking me that question. One of the main reasons I don't completely discount it, because I know that they catch a lot of flack, okay? They get hated on often. So, and at first, it was a tough thought to ponder, but ultimately, A1, we don't know for sure. At the end of the day, it hasn't been completely proven wrong. Okay? And 2, I've seen a lot of information on flat Earth. Okay? Now, like she said, this ripple effect, like Miss Ripple Effect said, the UN logo, I mean, it's obviously like a flat map, but it's also said to be a depiction of flat Earth, right? So one day I was checking it out, and it has the grid lines on this map, the flat Earth map from the UN, grid lines, or the latitude longitude lines, right? And I noticed them, and I go to myself, well, I've seen that before, right? Because if I remember correctly, yeah, it looked like it looked like a radar screen, and then it had a bunch of pie pieces cut out of it. Okay? I've gone all over Google Earth, right? I mean, you can never see it all, but I've gone for hours on Google Earth, traveled, looked at things from Australia all the way to China, you know what I'm saying? But one place in particular, obviously it was in the U.S., it was around Area 51. It had a bunch of these, what looked like, and they were made of stone, okay? Or they were carved out into the landscape. But it had those circles and those grid lines on like flat land, like flat, Earth. I'm not saying it looked like it was almost, identical. This dude, Tumultuous Talk, he's really intellectual, very smart, kind of on the same page as all of us. He posted a video once of this, and it was circles, all of the circles, okay? And it looked just like the grid lines of the United Nations map, okay? And I've seen that multiple times all over the earth. So I never knew where they came from. And I wish I could I went back and looked for them. And of course, I never took pictures of the latitude, longitude, never fully recorded it. Okay. What up, Tanya? How you doing, hon? Good to see you. Chariots of Gold. What's up? Alan Smith. George Kago. So I'm seeing all these, and of course, like I said, I never recorded where they were at, never got the latitude, longitude. Shit, because I wanted to, it looked to me the same, but I wanted to count all the grid lines on these depictions that they were putting on the ground. I almost guarantee you it's the same, all right? So, does it mean there's a flat Earth? No, but it's kind of odd to see depictions of it span throughout the world. So another reason I kind of don't discount flat Earth, okay? If you take the time to check them out, go look up the Illuminati card game cards. All right? Let me check it out. I'll see if I can show you real quick. But the Illuminati card game cards, I've gotten in trouble for talking about this on the Ladder app. So I got to be careful. But all it said was, let me see. I want to find it. I want to read exactly what it said. And I hate to say it, you guys. Thank you, Ripple Effect. I appreciate you, girl. For real. She said this. If you make a model of Earth, one a ball and one flat, with an ice wall, and pour water on both sides, which one will hold water? There is 33 squares on the UN logo. Wow. So the ice wall and the Atlantean conspiracy of 33 is what she's talking about. That is the conspiracy that there's actually 33 continents. Hey, Chariots of Gold. Welcome, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, it does hold something there. There's something there. You can't go without saying, you know. And the more we read the book of Enoch, and I think we talked about this last live, right? How in the book of Enoch they talk about all these beings battling in space. Tiamat, the mother, and then what was it? The son, basically. I can't remember the exact name, but the son was the father. And they had all these children, which were the planets, right? But they went to war, or basically they went to battle. Tiamat got tired of the children's, more or less troublemaking. They were defiant and unruly, so she got sick of it, and she was going to take them out one by one. But then the son, which was the father, created Nibiru, and he came from the waters below, maybe? The waters below, I want to say. But he came from the waters and ended up being the hero, and he told the gods that he wanted to be the god after and if he defeats Tiamat. And they agreed, basically. So basically what I'm getting at there is, how could those beings, so if they were actual physical beings, like organic beings, not planets, because I don't know, the way they describe the story, it's like, how are planets doing all this? Which planets I believe are alive. I will say that. They're definitely organic and they're living beings. But how can planets correlate a battle, gain allies, have that feeling of wanting to even take out all of the other children or whatever? Tiamat gain anger. Like, she's having all of the emotions of an existing entity. So if that's the case, and then Nibiru defeats her, rips her in half, she becomes the hammered bracelet, asteroid belt, and then Earth. Well, if that's the case, if they're an actual living being, how is the planet round at that point if they end up becoming the planet? And where I'm getting this theory is the giants, right? There's lore that the giants have become mountains, okay? Island chains. After death, they would get petrified and they become mountains and island chains, okay? At the end of the day, it's the same concept as what a planet would be if, in fact, the planets were living beings or organisms, okay? So how could it be round? Is kind of what I'm getting at. Really, think about it. I mean, how could it be round? But I'm not saying I believe in flat Earth either. At the end of the day, what could flat Earth be? What could Earth be? I've seen this theory as well, that the Earth is one small section of a much larger planet, and the dome thing, the firmament. I believe we had one, so I'll even talk about that a little bit. I believe we had a firmament at one time, okay? So think about this. You're a super advanced alien civilization, okay? You want to start creating other beings. You want to see if they can contribute to your life or your way of life, your technology, your existence. So you create all these beings, and they all have these different traits and all this stuff, right? Well, what if it's one large major alien faction, okay? One major alien faction running mostly all of it, like a godlike alien faction. Maybe it's the archangels. I don't know, but just something like that divine, that powerful. What if they found one planet that was so massive, but it had more or less the ideal climate for existence, but maybe it was desolate or not ideal for growing, or it would only grow, say, one type of nature or one type of, existence, right? So what would they do? They would take and they would cut off portions of that planet. They would designate portions of it to each alien faction all over the planet. If it's big enough, it could have thousands of different species being created at once. Okay? So with the firmament, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's just I pondered it. With the firmament, you put this being, say humans, in this portion of the planet. It's designated to them. And it's our Earth, essentially. But it's got the United States and all of our continents, and, they established all that, and there you go. They put us here. Well, to establish that, if it's a planet that, say, isn't its ideal climate, but it won't grow anything, or it won't sustain life, maybe the atmosphere is ruined, it won't hold oxygen, etc. What would you have to put over each alien faction that you created on this planet? A dome, right? A greenhouse effect. A greenhouse effect. That's what you're creating. That's all they're doing. Maybe the sun isn't quite hot enough where this massive planet is, and it needs to have this greenhouse effect for life to sustain. You know what I'm saying? So, the arena type thing. I've seen a lot of videos on the firmament, you guys. It's wild stuff. I'm reading the book of Enki. It's talking about the above and below waters. I'm hearing it say the firmament. The evidence is there. It's there. So maybe that's what flat Earth is. Maybe it seems flat because of the portion of that planet we're on. Who knows? But if a circular planet can get into orbit around the sun, why couldn't a massive landmass that was just kind of floating but wasn't round? I don't know. So that's my spiel on flat Earth, because sometimes I hear people say some pretty harsh things towards them, and it's not as dumb or whatever as people think. If you can think about it, if you sit back and think about it, it's not as outlandish as people think. But I wanted to see that Illuminati card. Sorry about that. So Illuminati card, flat Earth. Hopefully I don't get in trouble on you, good old TikTok. Images. Just 1 second, fam. Just 1 second. Okay, it's right here. Boom. Please make so I can read this. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to show it to you guys. Maybe I won't show it on TikTok. But basically, there's your flat Earth card. Okay? There's flat Earth. And it says, people laugh, but the flat earthers know something. And then it says, for their action, roll the dice twice. If your roll is equal to or lesser than the number of places you control. But then it says, the flat earthers' weird alternate geology has led them to a gold strike. And you may draw as many plot cards as the number you rolled. A gold strike. I don't know, fam. I don't know. I'm just saying that I've been looking at these, and guys, to a T, they're predicting things. All right, that's how I'm going to leave it at. But yeah, to a T. I'm not even kidding. Go look them. Go look at them. Maybe I'll do a live one day on them on YouTube only, because last time I messed with these on the talk, I got booted for a week. So no, religion is not. It's not worthless. It's not worthless, and it's not man-made only. It's much more accurate than people think. No, I did not. Did you hear about the 7.6 earthquake that just happened in Indonesia? No, I did not. I've been hearing a lot about the Kentucky storms, but no, I haven't heard anything like that. Where at? Is it anything like that would create a tsunami by chance? Let me see. I'm curious now. Indonesia earthquake. $7.4. 1 hour ago. 1 hour ago. Thank you, Dre. I appreciate you. Hold up. What do you say? What do you say? Planets are conscious. Morphogenetic energy. Terra Papers explains planet is just way big. Seems flat. Okay. I like it, bro. And that's kind of what I was trying to allude to by what I was saying with the multiple thousands of alien species, or not even alien, but species on one large planet, for sure. And dude, that's the morphogenetic fields and all that stuff. Terra, the planet Terra that exploded prior to. Yeah, that's a great story, dude. I'll have to talk about that one of these times coming up. Yeah, Joe Rogan and Alex Jones have the answer. Yeah. So, yeah. That's kind of, I try to like, and you guys, that was I stumbled upon that article, the one about the larger planet and then the multiple. I stumbled upon that article on this website called Academia, and it was by some random professor. I don't even know where he was a professor at, but I thought, I like it, you know? And he talked about the Atlantean theory of 33, the ice wall as well. And, I mean, you guys, it's hard to say absolutely without a doubt no that it's not true. The ice wall and everything, bro, like, for real. Like, one little tidbit. I never knew why. Thank you, Andrew Doughton. I appreciate you. And guys, I'm kind of liking this trend here on YouTube. If you, and I don't want to make it seem like this. I'm not trying to, make you buy comments or anything. But if you attach some cash to your comment, I promise you I'll read it. You know what I'm saying? I just noticed that Dre did that and Ripple Effect did that. And yeah. I mean, wow. Thank you, really, D. Holy crap, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. He said, your videos are awesome. You're like the new drug Huey Lewis is looking for. I know. I'm addicted to watching them. Good, bro. Good. That's awesome. Hey, more good stuff coming. And thank you so much, dude. You guys, YouTubers, man. I love you guys, man. You guys are the deal. You guys are my no offense, I love you guys too, TikTokers. I do, but man, thank you so much. You guys have been helping me, killing it on. You're killing it on donations and stuff like that. It really means a lot. So, and I gotta say too, on a side note here, YouTube, I love the way they do just straight cash. You know what I'm saying? Straight cash, you know what I mean? And that's hey, it's okay. No, I'm not saying don't worry about that. I understand it's tough out here, and if you guys can spare anything, it makes a hell of a difference, but I do not expect it. But I love the way YouTube just does straight cash, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's up. You know, I don't know why more people don't go live on YouTube. You know what I mean? Their platform is to me the best. I wish they would get green screens. That's the one thing I can say, is I wish they would get green screens. But no, so crazy earthquake going on. Seems like weather's getting a little more intense, right, guys? Kind of crazy. It's spooky at the same time, right? So a buddy of mine who's into the same type of content as we are, the same thought process, and he hits me with stuff, and I'm like, what, whoa. So I've been thinking about having him on a podcast sometime. We'll see what happens, or even maybe a live. Thank you so much, Righteous. I appreciate you, girl. Thank you so much, or maybe not, girl, but it seemed that way. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the donations. Appreciate you. So the 30-some CEOs, where's Monstro at? The 30-some CEOs, you guys, that have resigned. Okay? What do y'all think of that? What is your thoughts on that? As far as why they're I mean, you're talking Jeff Bezos, Twitter CEO, Google CEO, all these big time company CEOs are resigning and stepping down. Go ahead and look it up. I guess I want to say it's like 30, it's in the 30s of CEOs that are absolutely resigning. Bezos resigned back in July. I didn't even know that. He's still very involved with everything going on at Amazon, but he's the chairman. But I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm red flagging like that, like a mother. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me grab water, guys. Oh, shit. All right. I don't know how, but I tweaked my knee the other day, and I've never had knee issues. You think it's they don't want Trump in office, huh? Interesting. My buddy's convinced that they're more or less escaping. Underground tunnels, underground bases. I don't know. Maybe in the space, maybe an arc. But no, I'm drinking Aquafina. So, I mean, it's scary stuff. Like tombs. The elite, I love it, Dre. The elite are losing, so their connections with evil are broken. Really? I love that theory, bro. I'm going to vibe with that. Hold on, let me read this again. He said, the elite are losing, so their connections with evil are broken. So people are losing their place or riches that they were promised. I love that theory. I like that one, bro. Not even lying to you. I did hear something about on the 21st that there's supposed to be some kind of shift in the consciousness, or they're going to have this new frequency put out. See, I love that, you guys. I love that. Yeah, they're running. Like I was thinking that they're more or less leaving us in the dust. Like they're just like piecing out on humanity, like an asteroid's gonna hit or something, you know. Not saying that, obviously, that's not happening, but yeah, I was thinking that, but no, like I love that theory. Yeah, that's it's hard to say. That it does make sense. I hope it's true, you know. I really do. I hope more people are on the same page. Like, what do they call it? Waking up, right? Maybe that's what's up. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what's up. Yeah, that gives us the underhand. Sure. She said we don't really know their end game, don't know what their agenda is, and that puts us in a situation where we're very vulnerable. Gives us the underhand, don't you think? And absolutely, yeah, sure. I mean, that's kind of how I kind of hear that. I kind of vibe with that because that's how I've felt. Basically, if they wanted the upper hand, all they would have to do is totally shut off the electricity and then communication. The first two things. And it would be hard to correlate. You have to go back to like CB radios and stuff like that, and car batteries like for power, or energy energy, solar, stuff like that. So yeah, like it does seem that way. Like it seems like they have the upper hand, but maybe we have some higher beings or higher powers at play here in our favor, which would be cool. That'd be nice. Good chance of it, at least, that they're watching, right? I hope they are. At the end of the day. Yeah, no, like that's kind of what I've been thinking there, Goswick. Fact they all have underground doomsday shelters, bought and paid for in 2017, 2018, and yeah, absolutely. Because I know what I would do if I had the money. You know what I'm saying? If I had endless funds, I would definitely build an underground bunker for me and mine. Yeah, without a question. So, I mean, I imagine they have some pretty elaborate setups underground. Sure. So, we just talked about flat Earth a little bit. Decent amount. And now we're on the CEOs that seem to be resigning, one right after another. There's going to be a big sweep and a lot of CEOs going to go to jail. That's the way they don't. That's this way they don't get their hands in the cookie jar. Okay, possibly. The FBI is keeping record of all bunkers. Well, at least they like to think so. At least they like to think so. You know what money does, right? Endless resources. Yeah, could be. Could be the Epstein stuff, maybe. Could be the Epstein stuff, maybe, for sure. Thank you, Samantha Johnson. I appreciate it. I just see Justin Timberlake is being called out by R. Kelly now. What? That's funny. The white hats are taking their funding. Okay. Evil playing out in our face, and it's time to take down Rome. Okay. Said battle between good and evil is happening right in our face. But problem is how do you correlate? You know what I'm saying? It's basically, I don't know. Yes, they have been watching for years now. Appreciate you, Cherry, to the goal. You all right, brother? Autry Hodges. Well, I'm glad I met you. Same here. Did we meet in person? No, so, yeah, definitely red flagging on that. There's something going on, and you guys, like, I wish I could talk about it. Like, maybe that's why a podcast would be pretty freaking cool. Like, I'd go no holds bars on the podcast. Talk about it all. But I've gotten some pictures, you guys. Oh my God. in Facebook or on Facebook, and from this gentleman, and he's sending pictures of just stuff being more or less pulled out of his female friends, like back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I really don't. It's disturbing, like, to say the least. And I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. It says I'm blocked on Facebook. That's weird, because I get followers. No. Like, these I don't even know how to explain it. Like, these gross, like, these, like, pieces of stuff. I don't even know. And it's, yeah, it's just gnarly stuff, you guys. But yeah, it's gnarly, it's scary stuff, and yeah, I stay away from the jab, pretty much. Yo, what up, bro? Appreciate you. Hammer Samurai in the house. What up, guy? He's been a long-time follower from TikTok days. He says, yo, my guy, maybe do a live about our history that was stole from us, like Tartaria. I know, I need to look into that mud flood. Anyways, be safe and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well, my guy. Thank you so much for the donation, bro. You rock. You're awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, just be careful, guys. Just be careful. You know, I don't even know. Like, so if you look it up, you guys remember Hellboy, right? Hellboy. The first one in particular. Those were awesome movies, by the way. I loved them. But the first one's evil villain, right? The first one's evil villain was named Hydra. Okay? And it was this evil, devilish being. He was a bad guy. He was running the German army in World War... I think this was set in World War II. Maybe one. No, I think that was one. Take that back. I think that was one. So, supposedly, there is this scientist found I don't know what you'd call it. More or less a parasite. It's weird, but people can get it, and it's not good. I don't think. I don't know, but I really haven't done a lot on it as far as research goes. So I'm gonna look into it a little more, but I don't know. It's weird. Really weird thing. They're studying it at the moment. I don't know. It's weird, but I think it has to do with stem cells, and I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily good or bad. I really don't know, but I know it's something that's like new. It's technology, and I wouldn't even call it necessarily. I guess I shouldn't call it a parasite then, right? I mean, I don't know. It's an organism. That's what I should say, because parasites are not good. So, an organism. There you go. It's made out of stem cells, or derived from stem cells, and it conforms, and yeah. Something like that there. Mariquin. Something like that. But yeah, so in weirdness, just because I love you guys and I'm gonna kind of share. It's weird that the said parasite or organism, I guess I should say. I don't know why I keep calling it a parasite. It is transferable off of supposedly simply even washing dishes after somebody that has it washes them. Easily transferable. So, yeah. That's kind of, so just, I don't know. Just, I like I said, I don't know if it's good or bad, ugly. I don't know. It could be good. It could be a good thing. Maybe it's to help fight off COVID. I don't know. Or it's just naturally there to fight COVID. I don't know. Could be. So, I'm not going to sit here and say whether it's like a good or a bad thing. I don't know. But, I would just stick to trying to achieve your herd immunity and just wait, watch. Heard about him. It's nanoparticles and crazy. But no, like I said, I don't know if it's good or bad, ugly. I don't know. I'm not taking a partial way either way. You know what I'm saying, fam? So, just don't take it to heart or anything like that. I don't know whether it's even true or not. You know what I mean? Any of it. I don't know what to think of all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. At the end of the day, who knows what is going on? You know, that's kind of where I'm at with all this stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you not to do anything. That's on you. I mean, I have a lot of family. My mom, my stepfather, my grandmother. I mean, almost everybody. My aunts and uncles. They seem fine, and they have the vaccine. So I'm not gonna sit here and say it's bad. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have their weird theories, but at the end of the day, who knows? I mean, you know how many vaccines we got when we was kids, guys? Let's think about that for a second. You know what I mean? A pile of them. I know I've been vaccinated a lot in my youth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel fine. So, at the end of the day, I don't know. Sure. Yeah, Brandon, but I don't like that. I don't like to push that narrative. Because really, and most likely, we probably are just fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows how it's going to play out? Who knows, man? But I know that we have good energy, divine energy on our side. Mother Nature, Creator, all on our side. At least if you're, if you're inherently decent. You know what I mean? So, just that's the main thing, guys. Like, just be decent. You know what I mean? I know I say this every live, but that's, if you want, like, let me tell you, if you're decent to people and you're decent to others, now, lately, myself, at times I've not been decent because, people, they kind of like, people they're already getting a little funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to put it, but they're, switching sides and just acting some type of way. You know what I mean? So if people cross, you gotta respect yourself, right? At the end of the day, you gotta respect yourself enough to know what is right to you, and as far as you being treated a certain way, what is right and okay with you, and what is not. At the end of the day, certain things though, and I'm an empath, so I had a hard time with this. Like I have, and I still am having a hard time with this. I'm an empath, so I forgive, forget all the freaking time, dude. Like beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean I can't. It doesn't mean I haven't, stepped up to people though, and it doesn't mean that I ain't no bitch or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, and you find out truly people who are empaths are the ones you'd ladder or less want to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? The quiet, nice people. Because, why? Well, because they figure if they're being kind and they aren't doing anything wrong to you, you messing with them or if you crossing them, there's no really reason or explanation for it. So therefore, it makes them even more angry because they've been nothing but kind to you. You know what I'm saying? So be kind to others, but don't let people push you around. Don't. I'm serious. Like, I don't know if you, like some of my Facebook people saw my post. Like, if you have nothing but negative energy, and you are a vampire, energy vampire, that you're an energy stealer, and you don't add any type of positivity or positives or anything to my life, I'm just cutting people off. Like, that's just what's got to happen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hard reality, and I hear about it a lot, and I've especially noticed it in rap music, how they lose friends. You know what I mean? On the come up, I don't care. Like, it bothered me at first, but not anymore. I hope it really hurts watching me go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you lose sleep. You know? But, yeah, because I got a lot of ops out here right now. It's weird. I've never really experienced it. But there's some ops out here. Yeah, people hating hard, wanting to see me fall. You know? Kind of weird. It kind of started last summer. But, you know, people accusing me of things that I would never do, ever, in my entirety, in my life. I would never, ever do. And they know that. Like, but I'm still getting, you know. So, but that's all just to remote, you know, they're just trying to slander my name because they're mad, bro. Like, they're mad. So it is what it is. You know, it just makes me want to go that much harder. Really, at the end of the day. I guess that's just my little vent session. That's my therapy session for today. So just be selective. Don't be afraid to be. Don't feel like you need anybody, bro. Like, you do need people, you know, like I got my mom's, you know, all day has my back, my dad, you know, when he can, but, you know, a couple, maybe my stepsisters, you know, stuff like that, but I don't even know, like, dude, at the end of the day, I see why when people get it, they just bug out of their hometown neighborhood. You know what I mean? They go out to where other people like them are kicking it and kind of associate with them. I see why they do it. 'Cause the worst ones are your closest friends and then some fam. I don't know. So, yeah. So, I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you got, you know, like I said, I used to let it bother me, but like, bruh, if you Dude, that's the messed up part about me. Like that I don't understand the most is that I'm a kind person, bro. Like, for example, you know, my best friend from high school, and he's cool as fuck. We get along, dude. There's no issues there. He's actually my best friend, like, and he's my boy, bro. Like, he don't act any type of way or nothing. But for example, I've been telling him how, bro, if I get it, you know, I'm trying to take you with me, bro. Like, I'm not trying to see you, like, and he's decent, he lives good, but, you know, if I could help him, I will, right? So, like, and that's just how it's supposed to be, I think. But I basically told him, like, if I get it, bro, I'm like, dog, like, I'm serious, cause, dude, so check this out, guys. I know this is kind of off of my genre or whatever, but, Chick-fil-A, right? Did you know Chick-fil-A will, pay all of your overages over $10,000? So basically, if you give them 10 racks, they will pay all the rest, everything, for you to establish a Chick-fil-A in an approved location. I mean, dude, like, 10 racks on a Chick-fil-A? Like, I know where I'm from, and I know there ain't one where I'm from, and I'm like, okay, somebody need to do that, and if they don't, like, I shouldn't even be putting it out there. I should be keeping it myself. But truth be told, that's $1 million store where I'm from. I guarantee it. And also, Big B Coffee, and I see those popping up all over the place. They're a $14,000 initial investment, and they pay everything else, and you just have to pay them back. This is actually a Columbia hat, my guy. Appreciate you, though. Appreciate that. I'm going to come up with something. I just got to figure out the designs and stuff like that. Yeah, boy. I could see, I would avoid myself. As far as investments go, I didn't realize Steak and Shake did that, but I would avoid that one myself. That's just because they're just, not no Chick-fil-A's. You know what I mean? Like, Chick-fil-A is going to pop, bro. And it already is. Like, and I know where I'm from, they don't have any. And really, bro, they should have two of them. One on one street and one on the other in my town. You know what I mean? And I'm telling, bro, the one by CMU, bro, come on, man. You're killing it. It ain't Popeye's chicken, y'all. This is the real shit. So, dude, I actually, Dre, I'm thinking about trying to figure out something with those chakra bracelets as well. But anyway, my boy, he works at a restaurant right now anyway, a breakfast restaurant. And I was like, bro, let's go get a Chick-fil-A and run it for me, bro. Just run the whole thing. I'll give you 25% of $1 million, probably. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I'm cut. Or I'd even go, dude, I'm damn near like go 50-50 with him. I'm not even kidding. Nobody owns the majority. Nobody has the power. As long as I'm just collecting checks, bro. I'm just talking about that sleep money, y'all. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the retirement. You know, like Chick-fil-A, you know, just streaming income. I mean, you're setting up your children's children. Like, it's just thoughts, like investment thoughts. You know what I mean? The metaverse, too, is another one. But, just some ideas. So, that's the type of guy I am. So I don't understand, like, dude, I will put people on, bro. Let's be real. It takes money to make money. Like, come on, man. You know? So I'd help people, but if you're gonna cross me, dude, and you're gonna stab me and you're gonna slander me, bro, like, I don't care how much money I get, bro. I could get $1 billion, and I won't give you a fucking penny. That's how I'm at, bro. That's where I'm at with it. I'm done with these people. You know? But anyway, enough of that. Enough negative. I don't want to lose any watchers here or followers. So, those of you that read or watched my video on the Antarctica super soldier bases. Or super soldier labs. Were those not crazy? That's right. Crypto gaming, interesting. You will get an airdrop for participating. It's your starting couple thousand. Nice, bro. I like it. Wasn't that crazy, y'all? And I was actually kind of worried about sharing that a little bit. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sitting back like, you know, obviously all my stuff's for entertainment purposes only. All that stuff. You know what I mean? You guys, like, wow. I had no clue. Like, this is the first time I ever heard of anything like that. Now, I did a video on the Human Z, right? You all saw that? Hey, I appreciate you, Street Icons. You're the man. Thank you so much for that donation, bro. Thank you. Oh, dude, and you know what? That's funny you say that, Dre. He said, seen Super Soldier Labs through my remote viewing and my lab's ops. There's this dude on Facebook that he's a remote viewer as well. He looks like he's from the islands. Like, he's African American. He looks like he's from the islands. He's got dreads. Maybe Haitian or something. But, no, he talked about remote viewing the same thing. Like, where there was these demonic creatures around, and the little gray aliens were helping them, and they were creating, they had, you know, and this is just a vision he had, but, humanoids and on lab tables, you know, they were crossing DNAs and all this kind of stuff, chimeras, you name it, they were doing it, and he said it was on a remote view, so that's crazy that you saw that as well. And I'll be honest, like I said, when I heard that the United States was or participated back in the 1920s in these hybrids, these ape human hybrids, human Z, right? I thought, wow, that's insane, right? That's crazy, and they were successful with it. They were successful, and they would take the embryo of the female ape, and they would inseminate it with male sperm, and then they would put the embryo back in the chimp. So you're just getting that little bit of human influence compared to the mother being, you know, probably the predominant one as far as traits go on some, not all occasions, but the majority. Yeah, I guarantee you, yeah, Rush is in on that. Yeah, Russ is definitely playing the Chimera game. No question. I'd imagine all the world powers are. That'd kind of be my guess. But, yeah, Mud Fossil University is awesome. Actually, I watched a few videos of his, and I kind of started getting my ideas for, like, you know, the flat, not my ideas, they're obviously been thought of, but like where I kind of put two and two together about, you know, the Earth, and then the Tiamat possibly being an organic being that got killed, and then she got thrown into orbit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, like they become mountains. It's crazy. I mean, but it makes all the sense in the world. Thank you so much, Summer Breeze. You are awesome. I apologize again, you guys, about my rant earlier about that stuff. I should never, ever I just need to stop bringing negative into my lives at all. But that'll be the last time you guys hear me really ever mention that type of stuff again. Sometimes it's nice to share, but I'm gonna back off on that shit. So, back to what we were talking about anyway, like the trees being mountains, right? The trees being mountains. All that stuff, the giant statues, right? So, the giant statues that looked so real, you know, that mud fossil guy's going out and testing them, and they got the same type of nutrients and elements that make up that their being, or, you know, what their composition is, and the levels of such compositions, certain vitamins, a lot of elements like metallic elements, iron, probably even nickel and stuff like that. All this stuff, and he's comparing it to mankind, and their elevations are right around the same, you know. So he's finding out, and this kind of goes back to like the, you know, the whole thing, what in the hell was turning them to stone? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was turning them to stone? I know we have the Medusa theory, right? Or the Medusa myth, I mean. You look into her eyes, she has a snake head, turns to stone, right? Was that based off something real? Like, could that be based off something real? Maybe it's a weapon. But it's wild that they got, I get, like, so, like, Pompeii, for example, Mount Vesuvius, when it erupted, and all the people in Pompeii, they are still finding, hey, have a good one, buddy. Pompeii and the people got, what did they get? They got petrified, like perfectly petrified. So, that could happen, but I'm thinking, like, at the end of the day, it's got to be some sort of weapon that's petrifying these giants. So, crazy stuff. But back to the chimeras and the underground labs. After I saw the human Z and the cross breeding of a human and an ape, and you guys, if you watch my video, wow, like, did you see the picture I used? It's gnarly. Like, the dude, it's gnarly. He's totally got no hair, like, more or less, he's got head hair, but his body's smooth, not hairy like an ape or nothing like that. But his face is all of it, you know what I mean? And it's gnarly, bro. Like, so they were successfully doing this. And if you, like I say, if you watch my video, if you didn't, what happened is crazy, and I heard this theory through the grapevine. I've never actually read it anywhere, to be honest. But I had heard some other people into the same comment or content talking about it. They basically were standing upright, acting normal. They looked more apish, if you will. Some of them, it varied from person or from experiment to experiment. It varied from crossing to crossing. The host always matters. The host female, and then the male always matters. And it's hard to know what genetic traits will come out, at the end of the day. So, the experiments were going well at first, okay? But eventually, they started getting complaints from the lab techs. Almost like complaining about the chimera, right? Slight harassment or I don't know, not harassment, but like teasing them, tricking them, messing with them, right? But intelligently, okay? Knowing their next move before they knew it themselves, hardly, picking up on mannerisms, picking up on emotions, knowing almost when they had, like, say, turmoil at home, weren't getting along with their spouse. Like, these beings were totally vibing into and reading them and their energy. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you take a step back, you're going, wow, no way, like, wild. No way this happened, right? Well, no, it makes total sense. If they gained the capacity to learn like humans and the intelligence of humans, and they were taught proper growing up, and they had the more sincere, intellectual, emotional being of a human, while having the instincts, the abilities of the ape, well, now you're talking a super being, right? Imagine if you and I were given the ability of apes, to climb, to run, the strength of gorillas. Could you imagine having the strength of a gorilla? The ability to smell, to sense fear, to sense prey or predator, all that stuff. One thing they say is animals are very in tune with self. And on a natural level, like dogs are born and dogs know what dogs are supposed to do, right? Dogs just know. They have their little tidbits of personality, but they're programmed almost, right, if you will, to be a dog. Like they know what they are without even seeing a mirror. Okay? Without even looking in the mirror or knowing what they are. They know what they are. Okay? Apes do too. Now, we know what we are. I get that. But we got all these distractions and all this shit in our face and all this expectations and all this different stuff put on our life. How in tune with ourselves are we? Really not very. Let's be honest. As from an individual basis. You know? But, yeah, you guys, heck yeah, hit me up. Hit some likes on that. I don't know how you guys do it, if you get to tap the screen or what, but yeah, that'd be cool. Definitely love the likes. It puts my live out there for sure. And honestly, it helps when I go post the video. I notice they like to see around a 10% like to view ratio. Close to that, something like that. So, they began getting used to the lab techs. Okay? And like I say, these lab techs, they said they would start reading their next moves. Messing with them on certain occasions when they know they're vulnerable. Like I say, you know, knowing when something's about to happen with them. They would end up saying, these lab techs would say, that these chimera came off as telepathic. Not telekinesis, that's moving objects. Telepathic. At times, these lab techs literally thought they were reading their minds. Literally thought they were reading their minds. Now, were they? I don't know. They could have been. Or were they reading their mannerisms, smelling their smells, their endorphins, their emotions, their movements? Were they that good? Based on just those things, they could pick up and beat you to the punch on anything you're doing. Meaning, in battle, they are gonna make you look stupid. Like it won't even be a battle. You know? So, basically, you're talking Planet of the Apes scenario. Right? You guys seen those? I love those movies. So, it's Planet of the Apes scenario. Could we be creating beings that are going to create our own demise? Hard to say. But that's why they ended up cutting the program. They were intimidated by him. Maybe rightfully so. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Now, definitely something to be said about it. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Movies definitely were put out here to desensitize us on a lot of subjects. Absolutely. Like Planet of the Apes. So, at that moment anyway, when I was reading about or studying on the human Z, I kind of had a thought process of, oh, really? you're telling me that they figured this out and they created these beings and they just chopped the program. And supposedly they took out all of the chimera as well, as far as putting them down, which is kind of messed up. But at that point I went, so essentially these beings that they created could have been more or less super soldiers. And you're telling me they just scrubbed the programs? It kind of smelled to me a little bit. I thought, no way, they're underground. You know what I mean? That was my first thought. But come to find out, maybe. And not to the extreme I thought, not to the extent. Now, like I say, my entertainment is for entertainment purposes only. My content is for entertainment purposes only. Anything said here is not to be taken as absolute fact, because nothing I say is absolute fact that I know of for sure. Maybe some of it, but I mean, that sounded bad. But it's hard to know anything is absolute fact. Let's be honest. Everything has the potential of being picked apart, more or less. You know what I mean? So, but I think that a lot of times there, say, is percentages and stuff like that, or chances of things being right. Ha ha, Summer Breeze. She said, ever since the gnome video, I've been sleeping with a nightlight. Uh-oh. My bad. Hey, I don't play, though. It's good defense, anyway. Call me World War III hero, but the war isn't humanity, it's Judgment Day, and I'm here for Jesus, through Jesus Christ who strengthens the hand. Makes me more frightening than a giant megalodon or Kraken. Yeah, vibe with that power, brother. Vibe with that power. So, yeah. My dad reverse engineering made the barcode studying the physics of electricity light. Nice. Cool. That's what's up. Once in a while I'll read the comments and stuff. But these Antarctica bases, you guys, so hold on here. So, like this gentleman previously said in my comment section, movies are created to desensitize the masses to what's possible. I've noticed that recently time travel movies are all of a sudden coming out of the woodwork. Sorry, I keep seeing somebody messaging me. But time travel movies are coming out of the woodwork, and I think they're trying to condition us for the thought of time travel, at least as of late. So there's something to be said about that, yes. So basically with these underground alien bases, I'm just going to say it like this. Like, straight-ass X-Men. And I'm saying, like, nothing short. I mean, abilities and all. Possibly. So, if you, like I say, if you watch the video, they have fully human super soldiers, and they have hybrids. And the hybrids range from, if the hybrids range from wolf humanoid crosses to ape humanoid crosses. Thank you, that one guy. Appreciate it. Linda Moulton Howe, kinda iffy about. So they have hybrids as well that they've actually harvested. So this is where it gets wild, guys. They have hybrids as well that they have harvested the DNA from, they say, dragonoid beings, right? What? Like, when I heard that, I was like, what? Dragonoid or amphibious / reptilian or reptile-like beings. Which kind of took me back for a second. Wow. For one, wow. So, description 1. Okay. 7 to 8 feet tall. Possibly green-gray skin. Possible scales or a naturally produced exo suit that protects them from even as much as probably stopping bullets, weathering, heat resistant, green-gray skin with that is scaly. Oftentimes they will gain a slight scaling on their forehead. And now, depending on the host, is the next thing. The host is a big part of what traits they get, right? As far as from the cross. So, some have tails. Some don't. Some have wings. Others don't. Some have claws for hands. Others don't. Some are normal. Some aren't. Eye color. Generally, their hair color turns black. And it grows instantly. Which is an interesting thought. I think our hair is something that is more important than we know. I think our hair may actually be a tactical advantage in battle. Sounds weird to say that, but I think it could be. Just be of the sheer point that they once they cross, their hair turns jet black and instantly grows to a certain length. Yeah, there you go. Native Americans, great story with them. I don't remember exactly what war it is, but when they joined, oh, bet, bro. That would be crazy. You probably would have, Monstro. For real, guy. He said if they would have took me when I was born from my mom, I probably would have ended up in a place like that, huh? I say, yeah. No lie, bruh. No lie. I always worry just because I don't know if you like me to tell the story, but the story is awesome. It's a wild and what a cool story that is, dude. I don't know. That's just gnarly. But the Indians, or the natives, excuse me. Let's see what happens. The natives were joining the army. They were cutting their hair, but they actually recruited them to be professional trackers because these natives were absolutely professional trackers. Okay. So when they would join, they cut their hair and then they'd put them to the test. And these natives that were excellent trackers, they'd been doing it their whole life, all of a sudden lost all abilities. I mean, they literally were like noobs, brand new. They weren't very good at all at tracking, other enemy platoons, a search party, all that stuff. They were terrible. Well, apparently, one native brought up it's because they're cutting their hair. And they didn't buy it at first. They said bullshit. Well, then they humored one or one of the natives and said, okay, well, we're going to send 2 natives that have cut hair and you, and we're going to give you a head start, and we're going to send in the best, basically, search and basically is like the best trackers that they have as far as the best teams, like a SEAL Team 6, something like that. Like the best search and destroy team kind of thing. Like search out, target, destroy it. More or less on foot, but they were all pros, the best of the best. Been doing it for years, right? So they set them out, and I think they gave the natives, I don't know, maybe like an 8-hour head start or something like that. Okay, hell yeah, cool, bro, cool. I'm definitely gonna talk about that then. That's gnarly too. And that is about hybrids too. So they send them out, 3 natives. One has long hair, the other 2 don't. Apparently they caught the other 2 within the first night, more or less. It was cake. They caught the first 2 with their hair cut in no time. It was clockwork, okay? So, after catching them, they continue on to the 3rd. And every time they thought they were gaining ground, this 3rd guy, I mean, he was a ghost. They could not even come close to getting to him. They would find spots where he would literally, and this went on for over, it's like, say the first day they didn't catch him, and the second day, and he's still going, okay? And they would come up on spots where they could tell that he was sitting down and leaning up against the tree and going to sleep. This guy was like passing out, more or less, right? So he could catch a bit of shut-eye, get up, and get it again. He wasn't getting caught. But they started getting pissed off because he was almost mocking them. Like, he would literally get a head start, literally sit down, and go to sleep. And then when they got close, within whatever, half mile, maybe more, he would wake up and he would continue. And they kept seeing this, and they were like, okay, holy shit, we get it, all right? We throw in the towel. It ended up being, they never caught him, for one, and it was like 3 days in a row in this woods that he was able to avoid them all. So, pretty crazy stuff at the end of the day. And he said, and they attribute it to the fact that he had long hair, obviously. Something about it, like you said, vibes, frequencies. Maybe it draws in, I guarantee you, it draws in vibration. I mean, of some sort. You know, out in the airwaves, right? It draws in vibes. So, yeah. I mean, they ended up, obviously, they stopped cutting their hair, and they ended up being one of the best war tracking groups of all time. So, the fact that these chimeras are growing out their hair, and it's always jet black, crazy stuff. But she was describing it as like, some of them would, like I say, have wings. They could fly. Other ones would have different colors, different abilities. Most all of them had a super speed and agility plus a super strength. Right? Plus a super strength. So these beings were badass, essentially. They were badass. And I kind of don't really want to spoil the next video or anything, but like, they had it so, you guys, they called them the regeneration tanks. These regeneration tanks were where they would put them after they created them, and more or less, I imagine, they probably had to have like an embryo and a sperm of sorts. They created them, and then they would put them in this regeneration tank, and they would grow them, more or less. To have, and on the way, they could pick out the traits that they wanted them to have. They could literally, it was like a selection. Like a video game. How many points, what out of 100 do you want to make this guy's speed? Or, like Warcraft or something. How many points out of 100 do you want to make his speed? You know what I mean? How many points out of 100 do you want to make his focus? And basically like that, like a video game. Like they could literally pick and choose the traits and attributes that they wanted on these beings. And that was just the hybrids. And these were the reptilian human hybrids. And then they had a draconian or dragonoid reptilian or dragonoid human hybrid as well. Like say, some of them would be maybe blue or green in hue. Gray. They were all cut. They were all yoked, very strong looking. And, my big question is if you looked into their eyes, would you see a soul? Could they gotta. Are they there? Are they conscious? Is it like the movies? Could they gain a empathy? Could they gain a being? Or are they just robots, organic robots that fight? I have this inkling to want to say that maybe not all of them are conscious and of sound thought or being, but I have to say, once in a while, I will guarantee you, bro, once in a while, I will guarantee you, one shows up who is that above the levels of normal consciousness or emotion, existence, being. You know what I mean? I gotta say, once in a while, it has to happen. Just like AI. It's just like AI. Just like iRobot. What was that? I don't even remember what that heck that robot's name is. But yeah, once in a while. Has anybody seen Oblivion with Tom Cruise? Has anybody seen Oblivion with Tom Cruise? I know somebody has. Good movie. Sunny. Thank you, Rob Savage. Thank you. Sunny. What happened in Oblivion? So, Oblivion was a movie based on an alien invasion that happened by an alien faction that wanted our ocean waters. It was like their fuel. It's how they survived. They wanted our ocean waters. So they invaded and they won, more or less. Well, here's how they didn't exactly win. The nukes, we were doomed in this movie. We were doomed, so we lit off all the nukes. It was like a self-destruct. It was like a last-ditch effort to actually do something to them. It got a lot of them, but unfortunately it collateral damaged. It got a lot of us too. But we're like parasites ourselves. There's always somebody, all right, that survives. There's always groups that survive. So that happened, okay, and these little groups kind of, correlated, and they would watch as these aliens would send down these clones, okay? They had outposts all over Earth on these beautiful towers, and he basically was tasked they thousands of them, probably hundreds of thousands of them if this was the real case. All over the Earth, they were all towers, and they would set it up so they were out of sight, and they had a perimeter to check, and they couldn't go beyond this barrier, this boundary. But they made it so all of the basically patrols, I guess you'd call them, alien patrols, they made them a clone of the Earth hero, the hero of humanity that on Earth, who was of high-ranking military stature. He was supposed to be, he was like the face of mankind. He was supposed to be the guy to take out the aliens. And that was Tom Cruise. But to use it as a psychological thing, upon defeat, they captured this general, the aliens, and they made thousands of clones of him, to a T clones. And they made them the patrols for them on Earth. And they programmed him to be a super soldier type guy, very instinctive. He knew how to fly all their equipment. They would give him like clockwork, they always gave him a beautiful wife. And like clockwork, every day he was programmed. It was like his consciousness was set as if it was a program. And he would just do the same thing every day, every single day, like Groundhog's Day, over and over again. But the human groups, they knew, and they would watch him, and it was Samuel L. Jackson. He would go around and he would stealthily move to each boundary and watch every single one of these patrolmen. And he would wait. And he would wait for one of them to make a move out of character. Meaning, to make a move that wasn't robotic or programmed. To show individualism or personality or consciousness beyond the organic robots. Right? So one day, it's one of the patrolmen is out, and he gets into this battle, and they are Morgan Freeman. Thank you so much, Samuel L. Thank you, Morgan Freeman. Thank you so much. I said Samuel L., but yes, you're right, Morgan Freeman. This movie was cool. I only watched it once, but I'm the type of person I can watch a movie once and I'll remember it, and I'll never watch it again hardly, because I don't like watching the same movie twice hardly, unless it's really good. But he left a book out for one of the patrolmen, and he got into a battle with these, what he thought were alien beings, but they were humans, but they were just masked up. He took them out, and he's getting ready to go back home, and he looks over and he spots a book on the ground. And he double takes it like, should I be picking that up? Should I not? He more or less, most times they just ignore it as if it wasn't even there. But this one, this Tom Cruise, or this patrolman, he went and he picked up that book and opened it. And that's when Morgan Freeman knew, bam, there's my guy. He's there. That's the personality trait of the real general coming out. He's in there. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was waiting for. And he knew with a little work, he could bring him to the human side, play double agent, and then go up to the mothership, because these clones had access to the mothership. Very rarely, but they did. And boom, blew it up. But used. So there is something to be said. If they were, in fact, the DNA or the genetic makeup, whatever you want to say, of a human that once existed in a conscious level, or on a conscious level, I would argue that once in a while they are more human than organic robot. Once in a while, like the one, okay, so I didn't tell you about this. For example, the lady that had this account, the lady that had these details of all this going on in Antarctica, claims that she was called down there to fix a security computer protocols issue. A security computer protocols issue. So the one she went to was under the ice shelf. It was like 2 miles into the ice. And it was a regenerative tank type lab or base. She said that upon getting there, she was notified. And this ended up being the reason she was there. They put these beings in cryogenetic stasis. They're cryogenetically, I'm saying that right, cryogenetically. Why am I freaking brain scanning on that? Cryogenically. I keep saying genetically. Cryogenically, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Cryogenically frozen. They're in a cryogenic stasis. Okay? I know I was saying that wrong. Cryogenic stasis. Yes, thank you. I'm like cryogenetic. Cryogenic. They were in a cryogenic stasis, and they were not and it was supposed to be welly set in. But this particular chimera or hybrid, which was a reptilian human cross, he was 7 to 8 feet tall, yoked out of his gourd, super fast, super strong, and had claws, more like claws for hands. He was like gray-green. But he woke up from his stasis, and he broke the tube, or the chamber glass, which is high-grade glass, supposedly unbreakable. He broke it, and he more or less escaped. Didn't say whether he took anybody out or not. But he got out. He escaped, right? So he got into the underground tunnels, and he got away more or less. He for a while. I mean, he got out of the lab system, the base, which was a feat in itself. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting. When she got there, she was informed that even though he is at large still, don't worry, because he'll never make it to the ground. Why? Because, well, they're 2 miles below Antarctica's ice, for one. And two, they have electromagnetic energy shields surrounding every base. Second time I've heard one of these. Well, if you want to say that, more than that. Where did we hear about these? The electromagnetic energy fields in Busegi Mountains, Busegi's Mountain Secrets, Romania's Busegi Mountains, also in Baghdad, Iraq. They had electromagnetic energy shields. I think natives knew a lot more history than us. BTW. I think natives were and are a much older being than us. I think they've been around longer, possibly. Just saying. What's going on with her? They gave me a little pink pill and it shut everything down. What happened? I agree. Brit Butt, call Meb. Call me B. Oh, sorry, Meb. I said Meb. Call me B. I'm just saying that I'm sick and tired of hearing people, oh, they were slaughtered because they had this. No. They weren't slaughtered because they had, hold on. Don't leave me comments. Don't leave me. I'm just saying that I'm sick of, tired of people slaughtered because they had this. No, they weren't slaughtered because they had this. No, they weren't slaughtered because racist. So I think a lot of the inner earth beings took on a lot of the natives. And I think that a lot of them are inner earth. I don't know what it was. It was a shame. It was what it was. Because they were not what history's made them out to be, as far as them being, more or less barbaric in their ways. Raised by wolves. Whoa, cool. Cool, Monstro. That sounds interesting. I just let's not make nothing short of our wrongdoings in history, eh? Sometimes I wonder if, and I'm not trying to have like white guilt or anything like that, but we've done a lot of bad things in history. Makes me wonder sometimes if maybe we weren't the line of reptilians or draconians, given the eye color and whatnot. And that's why we've done so much dirt. But okay, I'm sorry. So the lady said that this guy escaped. Okay, she got electromagnetic energy fields. And they are, so first off, these bases, there's some under the ice, okay? And there's some under the oceans. Like under the ocean floor. They all have electromagnetic fields around them, right? Wakanda, energy shields. Simply. That's how I always say it to people, because no, absolutely not. No, I'm not trying to generalize white man as evil, but yeah. Not everybody's that way. No. Weird times, and it all was just weird, but electromagnetic energy fields surrounding all of them. Now, there's multiple bases there, and they're massive. They're miles long. But I wanted to say something as well about that. Now, they were creating chimera hybrids, right? They had these electromagnetic energy shields. They also, in her briefing, this lady explained how, in her briefing, around the walls in the war room, there were little kiosks that had the ability to pop holograms up around the entirety of the room of any hybrid you can think of. Any hybrid that you can come up with in your head, it'll cross them and then throw out a hologram of it. Where does that sound exactly like? The Buseji Mountains of Romania. Again, remember, I told in my video, I said how once they infiltrated or got past the electromagnetic fields, when they got into the Hall of Records or the chamber, there were tables with tabletops at the height of 6 feet. meaning that the beings sitting at these tables were probably 15 feet tall. A1. They were perfectly cut, smooth to the touch, as if they were marble. The walls were as well. It was dome-shaped, 100 meters long by 30 meters tall. The electromagnetic energy shield was so many feet or meters above the actual dome, which was odd. So the energy shield actually ran up past the inside of the cavern to protect it from pretty much virtually anything. Now, when did they discover these again? In 2000 and 2001. Okay? And they was using a new specialized geodesic satellite ground penetrating radar system that, yes, they have. And they scanned basically the Pentagon scanned the entirety of the world. And they found all these anomalies, these empty spaces in mountains, underground, all over the world. I think they found up to 5 or 6 in particular. But basically what all these places end up being is a hall of records left by our ancient ancestors. Tablets that read, and I know I've talked about this, but tablets that when they couldn't figure out how to read them, one of the scientists went to wipe his off and slid his hand across it, and it instantly activated. Upon activation, something else kicked on, and a hologram projected of what that particular tablet was saying. The first one they did was the beginning, the Big Bang, the space storm, or whatever you want to call it, that began and started out Earth. And they, stood there in awe watching it for 3 or 4 hours, and then they had to snap back to reality. So they couldn't believe that. And mind you guys, these holograms are not little. These holograms are full size. These are life size. At least to us, life size, right? Obviously, the universe one is not going to be life size, but it's proportioned, is what I'm kind of trying to get at. It's proportioned. Not only that, so they were amazed at that, of course, right off the rip. There was obviously cuneiform writing, petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, all that type of stuff, all over the walls, on the tables. But then there was this one table in particular that was unique. It was gridded off on the table, the stone, almost like just like a regular like grid style, like all over the table. Squares, probably, I would say, 6-inch squares, 8-inch, being giants, maybe a little bigger, I don't know. Roundabouts, that many squares all over this table. And each one depicted or had different writing and a different picture in it. And also, along with that, there was this machine, or it would look like a box, right? But it would look technologically advanced, that had cables running to it and wires. The professor then went, this professor, or this basically like anthropologist that got invited, he was lucky to get invited. If you guys want to even check this out, this story, all of it, hiddenfromhumanity.com. I'll say that one more time. And it's awesome source, you guys. Don't miss out on this. hiddenfromhumanity.com. Read it. You'll love it. I promise. You're welcome. Because that's unfindable. You'll never find that. I don't know how I did. I seriously stumble on a lot of these. But check that source out. You will love it. Okay. So, the professor walks up to the table, and he kind of starts looking at it, and he touches one of the squares, and it lights up. He's like, whoa, cool. You know, nothing really happens. So he kind of looks at another one. He takes his left hand. He goes, boom, touches a square. It activates. And all of a sudden, the box activates on the table. It's like doing some computing, making all the kinds of little like rendering noises. And then, boom, out in front of him pops up a full-size, odd-looking being that was of like a more like a maybe like a minotaur, like horse. Is that a horse? Human minotaur? Or is that I'm not 100% right. But a minotaur or a cross anyway between human and animal, and it projected a full size picture of this rendering. So he's like, centaurs, thank you. What's a minotaur then? Minotaur's a bull. You're right. Thank you. So he does it again, crosses two other animals. So he's basically found out that based on what he picks on the table, he can pick any two beings that's on there, and they will throw out a perfectly imaged cross between the two. And you guys got to imagine, at this point in humanity, they are literally thinking that we are the pinnacle. Possibly. Maybe. They probably know a lot more than we do, so maybe not. But they weren't expecting this. I can tell you that right now. They were not expecting this. So now I'm hearing about all these bases down in Antarctica with the same tech, holograms, chimera. Interesting. How much you want to bet? That's where they got the tech, that's where they got the ideas, and that's where the source comes from, where they started creating under Antarctica. Same thing. So let me put it this way. They have been creating chimera not even just before the biblical days, in the biblical days, before the flood, the Egyptian days, and I would argue that they've been creating chimera, advanced civilizations on Earth, which I hate to tell people, there's been many of them, and when I say many, I mean a fuck ton, excuse my language, of more civilizations on Earth that make us look, still to this day, Neanderthalic. Serious. Okay? So, chimera date back hundreds of thousands, if not arguably millions of years. Yeah. That's my estimate. That's what I believe. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to, but that's how long chimera have been around. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. I'm talking dinosaur days type. You know what I mean? For real. I love it. You guys are awesome. I love Facebook group, or the YouTube group, man. I like TikTok too, but I feel like YouTube, like you guys, bro, y'all are more like every live I get to know you guys, right? And I do YouTube or TikTok as well. I do. I love all you guys too. I'm not trying to take away anything from you guys. But there's a lot more trolls on TikTok and YouTube. When they are trolls, they get ate alive in the comments. So I like it, man. Love you YouTubers, man. You guys are the shit. For real. There's always somebody trying to kill it, though. You know, really, though, like, if you can't humor a conversation like this, or you like even just like be interested in it, your mind is very shallow. It's at least fun to talk about, whether you believe it or not. Your level of thinking is minuscule, you know. I know it's hard to wrap your head around some of this stuff, but it does take a higher level of achievable thinking to do it. To be in the reality of it's possible. Anything is possible. Hell yeah, Dalton's overrated. But anyway, no, yeah, no, that it's not that it's not electric lotus healing. She said it's not. It's like pretty easy to grasp. It's not that it's not hard to grasp, as far as what's happening and what I'm talking about. Right? That's not complicated. No, the idea of the possibility of it being actual or factual possibility is the higher level of thinking. Society has trained us to be very inside the box when it comes to our beliefs, possibilities, our scope of what could be is very generic, and it's been kept that way on purpose. They actually have said that as far as a civilization on Earth, our era of humanity is one of the quickest and not quickest. We had to grow up fast. Let me put it that way. We have been pushed to grow up much faster than prior civilizations to us, where they maybe had 100,000 years to get from caveman to where we are now. We've had probably that's about 10,000 years ish, give or take. So we're on double time as far as our race of humans, the fifth race of humans, to be given the opportunity to grow on this planet. There's just honestly, dude, like there's so much evidence that it's not even funny. I mean, as long as you actually look, you can't go on Google and expect to get the right info as far as sources that's not biased, or 1,000 debunked articles opposed to one that presents it as truth. That's wherein the difference lies. But there's a lot of evidence out there of this. I mean, look at all the you know, and why did they label it all mythology? Well, because they knew it was true. You know what I mean? So they called it a mythology. There's truth to mythology when they correlate in many different cultures all over the entire planet, spanning from China to Mexico, or South America, or Australia. When myths align, and they align closely, generally, from all wholly different cultures across the planet, myths no longer are myths, you know. They become truth to them. You don't have multiple civilizations that see the same damn thing, tell the same damn story, that isn't, they're just making it up by some random coincidence. I'm not buying. They're just telling the story as they saw it. So, with the Baseji Mountain Secrets, and we talked about that, and it gets much, much deeper than that. And I'm sure they have that down in Antarctica too, but as far as the chimeras and all that stuff, yeah, they've been making them for hundreds of thousands of years on Earth. Now, my next question is, yeah, we're making them, possibly, I don't know if they're in Antarctica necessarily. I don't know what they're crossed, or if they're hybrids, or whatever they are crossed with. I'm not going to sit here and say I know that, because I don't. But my big question is, what are they preparing for? Exactly. Why are they creating them? I mean, I get the why as far as Homeland Security, maybe World War type replacements for humans. But what is the real purpose? Why are they stockpiling them or creating so many that it's basically a underground army? Yeah, Tina Brewer says they are supposed to be 1,000 years faster in tech than us. Yeah, at least minimum. I think they may be more. They're time traveling. They're astral traveling on command. They are hopping through time space. They are hopping through wormholes, building stargates. I could go on. Thank you, Summer. Appreciate you. Oh, hey, D, you're good, brother. Don't even sweat it, dog. It is what it is sometimes. I understand. You're good. You're good, my guy. You're good. Around 4K if you go by Judaism. Not sure. Old TVs, books, or movies? What others? Oh, you're talking like physical evidence? Yeah, there you go, Monstro. Good man. Monstro is of Aztec descent. If I'm pretty sure I'm correct. I just don't want to say it wrong, but I'm like, yeah. He's got Aztec ancestors. His lore, his legacy is awesome. He comes from such cool heritage. Such cool heritage. So yeah. The show Stargate was real events, and Tibetan time transfer mentions Chimera in World War III. Yeah! I'm excited to do that one, bro. You know what? That seals the deal there, Dre. I'm gonna definitely post a part 2 on this, probably. I'm kind of going through it a little bit with you guys right now, but there's a lot more. So I'm definitely going to post a part 2 on this, but I'm gonna let that lead into the World War III time transference article, bro. No question. Because I know, bro. It seems like I'm not running with that just yet, but everything falls into succession for a reason. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say I calculated this, but it seems like when I wait on an article or I wait on a subject, everything I do leading up to it does tie, and it works out perfect, like every time. It's kind of like how I find weird sources like that hidden from humanity. Like, y'all, that literally, obviously use DuckDuckGo, okay? Obviously use DuckDuckGo, and you can hop on. So, man, I should have done this already, but NordVPN, so when you have a VPN, a virtual privacy network, okay? You can pick the server in which you want to acquire or ghost your account with, but you get their mags. I gotta kind of like study up on this a little more, but you gain access to that said server. They must all be part of this like data, this part of this one massive server that somehow these VPNs pick them up. Certain ones here and there, they're on a cloud maybe or something like that. But you can basically mask your account or your activity with this said server. So basically, you can be here and you can be going through a server in, say, Europe. And it'll look like you're pinging from Europe. So, good night. Bless, save, and grace. So, apparently, and I haven't tested this just yet, but apparently when you hop on another server, like say Europe, and you search articles and stuff like that, search content. Thank you, Summer Breeze. I appreciate you. Have a good night. When you search content on that said server, the content that will pop up is the content of that area. So if you want to know about Sicilian giant folklore, you'd go and you'd find at least Italian or maybe you could get a Sicilian one, Sicily. Pick a Sicily server, mask it to your phone, or mask your phone with that VPN. All right, Steve Cohen, have a good one. From Scotland Yard. So you mask it with that VPN, and then when you search Sicilian giants, you'll actually be searching the servers of Sicily. And what might come up is that said information. Hopefully the Sicilian giants of folklore. You know what I'm saying? Derek Wood's so mad right now. He's so mad. I think it scares him, you guys. And he's scared. You ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight, my guy? You gonna be alright? Need a hug? Yeah. So? What'd I say? I go live a lot. I've been doing it more lately. I try to every other night. Usually I post content and then go live the next night. One or the other every day. Oh, you asked 3 questions, I answer? How many people asked questions in here didn't get an answer to it? Just curious. Are you guys gonna cry? Do you guys want to cry with him? You want to cry? I'll cry with you guys. I can cry on command. I really can't, but Groove Hog, you didn't answer my 3 questions. I'm so angry. I think his wife, he must get beat up on by the old lady at home or something, huh? Does she run the roost, bro? Makes you feel powerful. When you're online, you get to act like somebody. Guarantee she runs his ass. He gets told what the fuck to do every day. No backbone. Not saying that's not, noble. Well, it's pretty much not. Yeah. Chariots of gold. He says, you cry, I'm bucking. I like it, bro. I like it. So, he hates on it, and he hates on me, but yet he won't leave the live. I don't understand that. Kind of weird. It's like, if you really like my content and you really are, interested in the live, then Why are you gonna throw slander at me, bro? You know what I mean? I don't know. Just my thought process on the whole thing. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. Came here at my request. I don't think I remember even asking you to, at all. I don't know, bro. I'm not really coming off as stoned to anybody else. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you were stoned, would you be able to host a live like this? I don't know. Even if I was, I'm pretty sure I'm spitting game and info that you couldn't even keep up with. That you couldn't even spit or repeat. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, if I'm stoned, I just made $100 in one live. And I don't even want to show you my YouTube income. So, when you want to get on my level, bro, you can try. It wouldn't matter what I was on, bro. I still get money. And I still do work and make good content. So, nobody else seems to mind. Why are you mad? You're right, JMC. I appreciate you. Yeah, there you go. I like it, Dabnar. Derek, we send you love, bro. Hey, I love you, bro. I love you. How about that? For real, guy. Is that what you need to hear, bro? Actually, I got a bachelor's in economics and management. Who knew? I love you, Derek Wood. You need a hug? Hey, I only feed him once in a while, Dre. I only feed him once in a while. I can't help it. He just needs some love in his life. He just needs a little light. I can actually provide that for him. Good. I'm glad you're a veteran. Thank you for serving our country, my guy. I'm surprised you're acting that way as a veteran. Well, that's whatever you want. You know what degrees mean to me? For one thing, C's get them. C's get degrees. And for the second thing, as far as degrees go, guys, I'm just going to tell you all right here now. They're biased, indoctrinated, provided by the system that will only disclose the bare minimum of what they want you to know. And they're teaching you to think the total opposite way of which you are supposed to be thinking. I went to college, bro. I got a degree. I do. I got a degree. No, I got a degree in economics management. So, I'm not misleading anybody. Huge house in Ozark. Nice. Yeah, I know. Now I'm an entrepreneur and I'm running my own business, you know. But yeah, colleges are indoctrination centers, and I love. Stop it, really, D. You calm down, bro. You're good. It ain't negative. I'm just trying to have a conversation with the vet. Bro, where do you think all my, like, so why do people ask, where's proof? Right? Bong hit for everyone. I love it, Mastro. It's all love and light. Can't stop, won't stop, forever forward. Homie, push, pull, stive, loco. Love it. No. With the evidence thing, you guys, maybe back me on this, like, as far as physical evidence goes, there's been more than one, giant found, giant skeletons, etc. The Buseji Mountain Secrets, all of those, like, I don't think so. And I'm not trying to flex. I'm not trying to be a douche and flex and be a tool about and talk about money. None of that shit, guys. I'm not about that really. But when people piss me off, I get a little carried away. But I'll humor him on the proof. Okay. As far as what people don't see that I do, what I get, with a couple million followers on TikTok. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm touching close to 90,000 on YouTube and 100,000 on Facebook, right? Now, these people span from all over the world. I mean, seriously, they're all over the world. So when I tell a story, there's nothing cooler than when a resident of that area who knows the lore, who lives by it, who's heard it, seen it, been a part of it. For example, when I had a Romanian female translate a YouTube video for me of a newscast about the Buseji Mountain Secrets and the giants they found, the holograms, the tunnel, the cavern, the Hall of Records, the tables, all of it. This Romanian lady or girl, she translated the entire video for me. And she basically also verified it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I can remember when this aired, they took it off the air. You know what I mean? Also, that's another thing to be said. A lot of times when something is true or has a backing or some validation, they don't, let's put it this way, they don't hide the fiction. They don't hide the outlandish fake shit. They don't hide that. They want that out there because it skews the truth. So when they hide something, that's an instant teller of truth, and at least some in it, right? Or some truth lies in it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what people like multiple degree veteran over here, he don't quite understand. I see the tactics of all the information, the sharing of information. I'm here. I see it. I know the trends. How they act when you put something out that is too much or too edgy. But I instantly, every single time, know absolutely when something is mostly fact-based, because boom, if it's too edgy, they'll suppress views, shadow block, whatever. One thing I will say is I love about YouTube is your shit has to be real, like real edgy though to get censored. YouTube's pretty lenient, which is cool. They have a lot of different content that pushes the limit, pushes the envelope. But that is what it is about, right? The freedom of speech. That's the idea here. We should, like, for example, we shouldn't be scared to get on here and talk anything. And anything, I mean anything. We shouldn't. Now, with courtesy and common courtesy and to avoid the controversy, I'm smart enough not to. You know, because I don't want to lose my account and my income and all that, right? So I'm smart enough to you know, giants are really taking root. Giants are really taking root. They're kind of becoming a trend, which is cool, an online trend for creators. When Mr. Ballin is sharing the Kandahar Giant story, you know it's mainstream. You know what I mean? And that's that it's actually acceptable to share. I'm telling you proof right now, bro. I'm not going to go out here and get my messages for you. I don't care enough to do that, bro, about your opinion. I get thousands of views a day, brother. Your number. Not my followers. My followers I love to death. But you could be a bot for all I know. I know, right, bro? Monstro, dude. I love this guy, bro. So those of you that don't know my boy Monstro, bro, he shared his folklore from his grandfather and his father lived in the seven luminaries of Mexico. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Mexico has some of the most amazing, most intriguing lore and stories, man, that I've ever heard. They're so good. If you guys check my TikTok, the 5 giants, the duendes, I have quite a few videos, probably at least 4 or 5, and every one of them, Monstro would tell me the stories of his grandfather that his grandfather told him that have been passed down, and they are of ancient Aztec descendants. They're ancient Aztec descendants. In the 7 luminaries, by the way, in Mexico, are craters that perfectly, more or less perfectly, mirror the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper. So, the 7 luminaries, they believe, are the result, these craters, and the one speculation is that they're the result of these alien entities or alien beings that came from the Pleiades, the Big Dipper, and they came to Earth with their ships, and they landed in a perfect mirroring of the Big Dipper while creating craters, because their ships were so big and fast and intense. They landed and they created craters. They did it to let people know this is where we are from. This is where we hail from. We created these craters and we shaped them like our homeland, our home galaxy. We're here to help, more or less. Okay? So basically, a lot of wild ET or extraterrestrial UFO sightings happen around here, but not only that, the lore and the stories of ancient beings, shapeshifter like reptilians, magical type things. So for example, the fruits there grow light years bigger than the fruits that are of you and I, like that you and I would grow. He would say that he'd eat mangoes the size of basketballs, heads of lettuce a meter tall. Everything there that grew there was extra large and extra savored, like great, like just the quality was amazing. And it was supposed that they were shown this by ancient extraterrestrials that showed them how to harvest the Earth's energy in a greater manner to grow their crops. They showed them how to go about using the Earth's energy to make the crops much larger, bigger, beautifuler, stuff like that. So he actually has an even crazier story, and it kind of goes with the chimera. Okay, it's been a while since I told it, and he's given me permission. He's given me permission right in this live, because I always like to proceed with discretion or caution with that, because the first time, you remember Monstro, bro. You remember, bro. Remember the first time I told this story in TikTok, bro? And what happened? Probably don't even want to mention it, but the first time, I swear on God, bro, we told the story, and all of a sudden, dude, like, and see, he might hang out and kind of hang back, because he's I respect his discretion. I like that. He understands the risk, of sharing such things. You know what I mean? So that's why I always proceeded with caution when telling his story. I didn't want him to not approve, because there was a couple times where I would be telling this story and he didn't want me to put his name out there, and I would actually accidentally say my boy, and then I'd say his name, and I'm not going to keep repeating it, but I would be like, shit, I wasn't supposed to say that, and I'd do it in lives, like, damn it. So I kind of backed off from talking about it at all for a little while, just because he's my guy, dude. I respect him, and when people don't want their identity out there, I really respect that, and I try hard to respect that. So, because he's got loved ones, and that's first and foremost. So, when we were on the TikTok live, he actually was he's getting these weird, when I started telling the story, he started getting odd calls, and they would be 0000, and it'd just be static, but they kept doing it as I was telling the story. The story is intriguing. It's different. It's gnarly. Okay. Now, it was, so the day he was born, okay, he was brought to a hospital, and that night there was only, I want to say, 3 other kids in there. It was him and 3 other children. Okay. As his mother was they were all getting prepped and everything going on. That night, there were 4 babies born successfully. Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know 2 of them had traits. One of them was completely normal, or I shouldn't say normal. It's kind of completely like us. And then the other had 1 trait. Okay. The first one was born with hair from head to toe. And it was thick hair. Almost as if he was Sasquatchian, if you will. Yeah, dude, I thought you said something too about the sky. There was some crazy weather going on in the sky. Possibly, maybe he's thinking maybe UFO or extraterrestrial presence going on at this time. Almost as if, so check this out, almost as if, I'm not sure how it would have happened, but almost as if extraterrestrial factions chose them, okay, and they gave them, and they somehow attributed these traits that were of divine or extraterrestrial origin to them at birth. Somehow in the process of birth, they were able to pass these traits to these babies, right? Possibly. Okay, thank you, Monstro. 5 babies. Okay. You're going to have to help me with all the traits, bro. It's been a while. I should have re-looked this up. I know all hair from head to toe. Then the other had a more... Oh, man. I'm doing bad, bro. But the other had another trait that was not changeable, that was more or less not of necessarily Earth origins. But the third was my guy. Let's see if he gives me the other trait. I want to say it was more like almost like a gray alien type trait. All over body, eyelashes, and big eyes. Thank you. I knew. Okay. One had hair all over the body. One had extra long eyelashes and big eyes, like bulbous eyes. Kind of like maybe possibly a gray. Sabbatical for work. And then I thought it was 4, but he's saying 5. I thought it was 4. But he's saying there's one more that I'm missing. But the third was normal, completely normal, and then the fourth was a baby born with a dot in the middle of his forehead, right here. A bump, more or less. It was blatant. It was there. It was blatant. Extra fingers. Yeah, okay. Thank you, guy. Thank you. So, so I'm going to go back, reiterate this. Thank you, bro. The traits I was foggy on. One had full-on hair, like a Bigfoot. The second one had bulbous eyes and eyelashes, kind of maybe like a gray. And then the third one had extra fingers and toes, 6 phalanges on each. Right? Now, who has 6 phalanges on each? And yes, the red dot was my guy. Now, this is a cool frickin' story, too. I'm gonna do it better justice next time, bro. I maybe even do a video about it, because it's really a cool account. So, 6 fingers and toes, giants, yeah, okay. So, after all babies were born, they said, obviously, he said there's divine, extraterrestrial type events, in the sky that night, possibly ET presence, and so on. So it was a spectacular event, more or less. All the babies were born successfully. Okay? All the babies were born successfully. The next morning, the men in black showed up. The MIB. Like they knew what was going down. They showed up and they took the first three. All hair, 6 fingers and toes, and the bulbous eyes. Wow. His mother got to see them all. Whoa. Why did I forget that little detail? It's been a long time since I told it, my guy. Wow, I didn't know your mother got to see them all. Now that would be cool. Like, wouldn't it be sweet if we could pull off some like Black Mirror shit and get into consciousness and grab pictures and just scan them? I was talking to a buddy about that earlier, Black Mirror. How they could put your consciousness in this like more or less egg, and they could like turn it and fast forward it to what, like say a prisoner's going to confess a murder. They can just go, and he doesn't want to confess, he's staying silent. They can literally go and fast forward it into the future to see if he ever confesses or will, which is crazy. So his mother got to see them all and then meet the other mothers. Now, our guy was lucky. When Men in Black showed up, they literally took all 3 of the babies from the first 3 mothers. With no, you ain't stopping them. They're taking it. They're taking that kid. No questions asked. There's no way they're stopping them. Obviously, I imagine they were hysterical. It'd be a terrible scene to observe and witness. So these mothers were hysterical, I imagine. And yeah, Monstro's mother was scared out of her mind, of course. Terrified. Absolutely terrified, I guarantee it. So they come in to his mother's room and they look at him. He has this red dot. And they said, you can keep him, but he has to have that dot surgically removed by the time he's, certain age. It was young. 3, 4, 5. But when he was young. And he said he knows that when he was younger, he had to have surgery to remove this dot. A couple of them. Okay? Now, what's craziest of all about this, so his mother and the other mother of the normal child got to keep their children. The other 3, they were confiscated. Probably taken to these, maybe possibly these underground labs. Hard to say. Who knows what they did with them. Guarantee they lived, but hard to say what kind of life. So, what's crazier, though, is when I was going through this Alien Book of Secrets, Russia's Alien Book of Secrets, I found, let me see here, let's see if I got it. I found this, let me see if I got it here. I might have it in my Gmail here. Let's see. Russia's. Yeah, right there. See if I can find them. And actually, upon discovering this picture, I ended up sending it to my guy here and showing him after the story. Okay, hold up here. You gotta get a kick out of this. Hold up. Let me find them. Let me find them. Be patient. Where are you at? Council of 5 is what I'm looking for. There they are. Council of 5. Right here. Let me see if I can zoom in here. It's hard to see, but you can see it. So, I was looking, and I was going through the Russia's Alien Book of Secrets, and I found this member. You'll be able to see it better on YouTube. This guy, right? This gentleman here. He is supposedly part of the Council of 5. If in fact they are true. He is a alien race known as Aragot. Okay? I want to get it so these comments aren't up here. So if you look closely, look in the middle of his forehead. It's black and white, but you can see the round protrusion. And you can also see a symbol on that. And also, what does he look like? This gentleman looks like an Aztec. Does he not? Yeah, you got one of the coolest stories ever, Monstro. Does he not look like an Aztec? That is one of the Council of Five. He's called the Egorot. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he's a divine being. And maybe he did inhabit Earth at one time. And that's his ancestor. Good chance. Or the Aztecs. They were love and light on Earth, or wherever they happen to inhabit. His ancestors were in, and he has lore for days. I've heard it all. I've heard most of his lore, and almost all of it says his people were love and light, and they worked closely with Mother Nature, creator of all, along with extraterrestrials. They were allowed into the next world because they were love and light. His ancestors. Why did the Mayans disappear? The Aztecs pretty much did too. They could have stayed and fought. History's made them out to look like this, when in fact they were the exact opposite. They were love and light. The Aztecs actually helped the conquistadors when they first landed on the American soil. They were emaciated, dehydrated, hungry. They took them in. Gave them water, gave them food. Even showed them a little bit of their magic. That was actually just energy manipulation that they were taught, or they had learned from being one with Mother Nature. They had a plethora of gold. More gold than you'd ever need or know. Ever need or know. And the conquistadors saw this gold and all this magic, if you will. And what do you think the first thing they did when they got back to their boat was? Took up arms and they went to attack. But Aztecs weren't no dummies. They sent somebody to follow them. And they seen what they were doing. So, they came back to their camp, reported that they were going to attack. And then the whole group, this was a village, a fishing village on the Gulf. And they were outside of the main capital of the Aztec nation. Okay, and this is lore from his grandfather. This is from his grandfather. Now, this has been passed down for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Okay? They went and they warned the main capital city of the Aztecs. Okay? I think Teotihuacan, I'm guessing. Teotihuacan. Was that Aztec? There's a lot of names. I haven't studied up on this stuff in a little while. But they went and warned the main capital of the Aztec nation of what was to come. And then they sent a group out to warn the Mayans. Okay, and the Incans had already existed. So they weren't at this era, supposedly. But who knows, really? Really, who knows? It would make more sense that they were. Have a good one, Dano. Yeah, TikTok couldn't see it. I know it, because of the green screen. And the Aztecs, who the conquistadors portrayed as what? Absolute, sacrificial, no heart having, non-empathetic. I don't even like saying what they called them, but they were far from that. But if this is true, if the history books herein lie, I don't know. But if this is true, why would they do that? Well, they needed justification to come in here and completely commit theft and more or less genocide. So what better image to create for the masses in Europe or the Queen and all that than they're a bunch of heartless savages? Right? Think about that, guys, for a second. The Aztecs were not. It's bull. I believe it to my core. It's bull. They were not sacrificial, heartless beings. So they could even and think about this too on that tip. Now, you really think that the Aztecs, who were native to the land, could run the jungle, knew the land, knew how to hunt, knew how to battle? You really think they couldn't take out a bunch of conquistadors that just got over here emaciated, hungry on boats, carrying around steel armor, steel weapons, and going through a 100-degree jungle? You don't think they could have beat them? I'm here to tell you the opposite. Yes, they could have. They easily could have. Every boat that landed, they could have. Why didn't they do that? Because they're love and light. Where did they go? Because they're love and light. They went to inner earth. The higher beings told them, you are not to stay and fight, that you need to vacate to here. They gave the Mayan leader and him, or the Aztec leaders, each half of a idol or a pendant. I think this is the story. Yes, and then they headed south to South America, found the symbol of both halves of their pendants. They put them into the symbol, and some Laura Croft shit started shifting, and then a door opened into the mountain. That's where they went. So that ergot, I believe, to be possibly descendants from the Aztecs. Boom. There you go. And that bump, that's tapped into the pineal, or pineal. I always say pineal. Pineal. You know? That's tapped into the pineal. His grandfather even said that, yeah, we had some good numbers tonight, guys. It's awesome. His grandfather even stated that his ancestors actually helped fight in the Third Great Earth War. Hey, Dre just said, they have a Stargate in South America, and it connects to Alaska, Egypt, and Inner Earth. Boom. That's where they went. How much you want to bet? Night, Tanya. Still happening today. I wish we could get it out there a little more. Yeah, the ergot beings. Pineal. Yep. I always want to say pineal. Pineal. So yeah, his grandfather even stated that his ancestors helped fight in the Third Great Earth War. And what did they have the ability to do? They could move boulders with their mind. Probably because they had that bump. Now, they could tap into the pineal, use that energy, and they could move boulders. They were fast. They were agility. They had a hella agility. Want to say they called them the ancient jaguar warriors. They were a very, very special class of Aztec or native warriors that were a huge part in the Great Earth War, the third one. And they were also responsible for traveling the world and uniting mankind. So they would send them out. They were seafaring. They could travel to Australia, all over the world, and they would tell them what's to come. And it was the reptilians, once again, thinking they had enough power to take over Earth, the Mater and Reptilian Alliance. They found out they were sorely wrong. But that's what his ancestors were tasked with, traveling the globe and uniting mankind. They built things called pyramids. Could the ancient Aztecs also be the ancient Egyptians? I don't know. Maybe. You know what I mean? There's a lot more to the story, bro. A lot more to the story. I wish they'd tell us the truth. But yeah, yes, agreed. Yes, Saddam Hussein did, in fact, find the one in Baghdad. Yes, he did. Yep. What happened before the flood? They entered inner Earth to avoid the waters and avoid the flood. Night, Tanya. Appreciate you, girl. And then after the flood, they re-emerged and became the natives of America in the Americas period. And then I don't even know where I don't even know if the white man, do we even have a record before the flood? We have to. Yeah, Greek. All that stuff. Yeah, we do. Not a lot, though. Egyptians. I mean, proof. Because even the Egyptians were dark-skinned. Copper. Just curious. I actually was told that today by somebody. Who was it? Huh. What? Cool. Monster Side of the Pyramid. Dude, he's got such mad info, bro. Mastro, bro, we're doing a podcast sometime. Or a collab live, bro. I'd love to get you on and hear your story, your tale. You tell it, bro. Gotta be cool. No, I just heard something bumping outside. I've been hearing a lot about that dune. You think the Arabians? Okay. It's fair. No kidding, pure evil. Andrew said, it's Dogman. I'm serious. So yeah, when did I heard that white people actually came after the flood. Isn't that weird? I heard that the other day. I about shat myself. Oh, you think I'm playing with things that are supernatural? Ed? Yeah, they lasered his dot off. So basically they had to laser Monstro's dot off. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. This may or may not be true. Subject to scrutiny, and I'm not presenting it as absolute fact. I just like to give my take and my spin on history after the journey that I've taken and the information I've been given. Just like to give my take on things, maybe a little spin, a little something, a little different account. I think guys, here's the deal. Do I get a little nervous about what I say? Sure. Why wouldn't I? I'm not dumb. But you know what? If I planted a seed that could take, and if I planted a seed by telling these stories, by Monstro telling me these stories and me telling them, what if Monstro wouldn't have, I mean, obviously he would tell his kids and their kids and their kids and their kids. But what if something terrible, and I'm not trying to be like this, but what if something apocalyptic takes place? What if, or I mean, I don't even want to say that, like, what if he never shared it and I never shared it and it never got to, literally, you guys, I've gotten this message to so many ears and they're telling the story too. You know what I mean? I guess if I passed on the truth about an entire civilization from the horse's mouth, and I consider his grandfather and his lore to be the horse's mouth, then if I get took out for that, I'm okay with it, because you know what? At least the truth got told, and at least some ears are hearing that this entire civilization was totally misrepresented and mislabeled. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I feel good about that. And Monstro should too. For sure. Everybody you tell matters. Everybody you tell that story to matters. It makes a difference. So, it's a legacy that could have possibly gotten lost in translation. But now people are telling the story, hopefully. Run it. I love it. And you know what? Also is, let's not hide the fact or hide from the fact that Mexico's got a bad rap for a long time. Their people have been oppressed since when we got here. Let's be honest. Right? So not only did we do these things, we steal their truth too. I mean, I'm not trying to have like white guilt, like try to play that card, but what a crock, yo. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Yeah, I'll check out Tommy Truthful. Dude, I did check out Tommy Truthful at one time. Okay? I like the stuff. He's a little more edgy than me. But free hugs. I know, it got a little sensitive there for a second. You alright, oh son? Bro, I love it. Monstro's about that life, bro. He don't play, bro. He's in shape for this shit. He's ready to go battle, dude. I love it, guy. I love it. Love it. He ain't playing either. He ready to go to war. Always prepared. He probably got a bug out bag and everything. How much you want to bet? I know he does. He's in the chats. Check him out. Monstro. Good night, Tina Brewer. Revelation. Christ will come again with a new name, according to prophecy, has already come. The year 2048, when it's real. Promised land. Yes, sir. Jamie Rebecca. Gobekli Tepe. What you know about this? I've heard a lot about, I've heard it mentioned a lot, Gobekli Tepe. So no, sorry, Tommy Truthful. I checked his page out, and he's a little more edgy than me. He doesn't, he's more, so I feel like, because, so Tommy Truthful, right? For example, yes, he's being targeted. That's obvious. But, and I respect what he's doing. I do. But there's something to be said about that, as a creator, there's something to be said. Like, even in this live tonight, there's probably 2 points or 3 where I went a little further than my comfort zone. I shouldn't have, probably. Okay? But that's why I always throw out the for entertainment purposes only. Okay? Because it is. I don't know what I'm saying is absolute truth. I cannot sell it as such. Do I believe it? Doesn't matter. Right? Do you believe it? Really doesn't matter either. You know? It does, but it doesn't. Keep it, I keep it to myself. I don't sit here and push it as fact. There's something to be said about when I do my thing, I'm out here on history, aliens, extraterrestrials, giants, topics that are popping. Okay? To get my status up. Because people love that stuff. And really tonight, wouldn't you rather have, and I'm not criticizing Tommy Truthful, bro. He's a G, he's the truth. I get it. But get your level up and then spit some truth. You're not doing any good spitting all the truth and getting oppressed and shadow banned. You know what I'm saying? Joe Rogan. Think Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Get up here. Get the fan base. Then no matter what you say, you got backing. It's strategy. You know what I mean? And I'll talk to Tommy Truthful, but there's something to be said about the approach. Like I said, I talked too much tonight, probably. I'll be okay. I don't think I did well, I think. But play the game to stay in the game. Amen. And there's certain things you just don't touch. Illuminati, don't go too hard at the Illuminati. Don't go too hard at the politicians. Don't go too hard at the vaccine. The Vatican, religion. And the list goes on right there. You know what I mean? I'd say, see, now on a podcast is where I might change that tune. On a podcast, I might go a little more no holds bar. But not live and not on YouTube. YouTube is my lifeline, dude. I can't screw that up. Joe Rogan, CIA. Interesting theory. Interesting. Never heard that one. If in fact he is CIA, though, why is he calling so many people out and stuff? If in fact he is CIA, I'll DM you, Ed. Ed, message me on Facebook. That's the easiest platform to answer my messages on. So on God, no. Yeah, I try, dude. I try. I got a little carried away early on in this chat, but hopefully it's because, like I say, I approach it and I say things and I always backtrack them. You just got to make sure you throw out that. I mean, and I don't know. Like I said, I hear things and I repeat them a little bit here and there and within the lines. But yeah. So, you know, I'm going to try and stick to it, you guys. Like, I don't want to be considered, and I understand why these guys do it, by the way, first of all. You know, if you guys haven't noticed, if you guys follow Mr. Ballin, and I like Mr. B, he's an OG, he's a pioneer for us TikTokers. But he posted a lot more edgy content in the beginning, the more fantastical, the more on the edge, the more fringe. Once he got up, got monies, he calmed down on that shit. And that's because why are you going to do that? Why are you going to, once you get there, make that money, why are you going to push the envelope and potentially lose all that you had worked for? Just because you don't want to adhere and you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what happens to a lot of these guys. They get money and they're like, well, man, I really used to love posting all that edgy shit, but goddamn, now I got 10 mil in the bank. And then, of course, their lifestyle increased as they got that money. So no longer are they that average Joe with 10 mil in the bank. They're the millionaire who's got the millionaire house, the millionaire car, the millionaire shit with 10 mil in the bank. Meaning they got to keep making the millions, like Joe Rogan. Now, he's beyond belief rich. He should never have to worry about money. But he might not want to lose that by either A, disappearing, or B, getting more or less banned off every platform. And hey, by me just saying I understand, don't think I'm going to sell out, because I'm not. But I will always post my shit, bro. Bet. I mean, Alex, what's that guy's name? You guys said it earlier. Alex Jones? Yeah. Alex Jones? And Joe Rogan, both. But that Alex Jones, if I'm saying that right, bro, he totally, he totally pushes, bro, that guy, he getting it, making money, and there's no filter. I mean, that dude straight tells what's up. Mick Savage, bro, you crack me. You cracking me up, my guy. He said Alex Jones is CIA also. I love it, bro. That's funny. Why would they do that? I guess I wouldn't doubt it. Who knows what the fucking CIA? He's not wrong. I'm not laughing at him. I just think it's fucking hilarious. I mean, I've never heard it, but yeah, run it, bro. Fucking run it. So why would they do that, though? Why would they implant their own person to run their mouth about themselves? The world is a stage, and all of us are just merely players. Shakespeare. All right. Disinformation to distract us from the real? It's a psyop. Oh, really? Alex Jones copied Bill Cooper? I've never heard that one. Now, Bill was a pioneer who never sold out. That makes total sense. Okay, Joshua. He said, to put out false information, to confuse people, and to perpetuate the idea of conspiracy theories. Makes sense. No. Bill and Alex are one and the same person. Don't even say that. No way. Really? Really? No way. What, bro? What, bro? You playing with me. Bill Cooper, bro? Bill Cooper? Bill Cooper is Alex Jones. Stop. For real? Okay, good. I was like, Bill Cooper, bro? I'm sorry. I just mistook that. I know Bill Cooper he supposedly got took out. But bro, that guy was definitely an OG. Okay. I was about to say, bro, don't even. That would be crazy. I need to read that Behold a Pale Horse. I do. No, you're good. Really, D thinks you're wrong, though. He thinks Bill Hicks and Alex Jones are not the same person. Oh, you don't think so? What? Oh, yeah, I know Nipsey. Hell yeah, I love my chat, so they're fun. JFK is where? What? Zarnik? Stop it. No, bro, I haven't. Bro, I ain't got time to read whole books, my guy. I ain't got time for that. I basically get a spark notes of everything. Everything out there I know a little bit about, or a decent amount about. I know, I had heard that one. That was odd. Peter Grubin. Jackie O was the one who got. But I've got video that says way otherwise on that. I haven't. Read it in prison? Oh, read it in prison. Nice. There, Caesar Leo. Read David Icke's books. That's what I need to do, the audiobooks. Oh, the video? It's on my YouTube. Yeah, I know. I need to get some rest. Yeah, it's been a long live, guys. I love chatting with you guys, but I need to get some rest. Awesome live, guys. Rock on. Like, share, comment, all that stuff on my content, and I appreciate you. Thanks for the reminder. Sometimes I gotta be told, because I could talk about this shit all night, but many more lives to come. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for the donations, dude. You guys are awesome. Thank you, TikTok. Love you guys, too. Soon enough, I'm going to be on Facebook, too, and we will be rocking on all 4 platforms. Instagram, too. So, stay in the light. You guys are awesome. Keep vibing, and Nightcap with Night God is out.